Hi, I'm Dylan and welcome to the track by track of my No Romeo EP. The first on the EP is No Romeo, of course, because it's titled the No Romeo EP. I wrote this song with one of my favourite collaborators and someone that worked on the majority of this EP with me, King Ed, who's brilliant. And on the way to the session, I was texting my best friend and she was having major dude troubles and I don't think her boyfriend was being particularly nice at the time. And I was thinking, man, this dude, he's just no Romeo. Which my brain sort of went, aha, that is a great title idea. I took that into Ed. The song came about pretty quickly, actually. There's some horrific voice notes of us trying to work out what we were going to write. But it was definitely one of the most fun to make. What's actually pretty funny about this song is that my best friend is now very, very happy with her boyfriend. And at the time of writing it, I was in a really great relationship and now I'm not in a really great relationship and I'm incredibly single. And it turns out I needed the song a lot more than she did. Karma, bad manifestation. Because this song isn't particularly clever, I think my favourite lyric is just that he's no Romeo, because I think that that is a life motto to live by. If somebody is treating you like you are less, or that you are not good enough, or that you don't deserve to be happy, then quite frankly they are no Romeo and you are so much better off without them. Dylan's life advice. A funny story about recording the song was actually that most of the vocals in the finished version are actually the demo vocals, because I couldn't quite get the feeling that I wanted to when trying to re-record them. And there is something that some of you may have not noticed, but I notice every time I listen to it, that the chorus lyric is always like a millisecond out of time because I didn't sing it in time originally. But it's fine. You've only noticed it now because I told you, but I'd rather it be out there. I have nothing to hide. The second track on the EP is Live Without It. I wrote this one with Tobias and Anya Jones, and we did it on Zoom actually, and I just moved to London. The song is about falling in love with someone and all of the pain that comes with that, but not wanting to live without that pain. It's dead complicated. My favourite lyric from Live Without It is loving you is the best mistake I've made, which makes it's such a good lyric that I feel like lots of people have said that lyric or written that lyric, but now I'm also writing it and I enjoy it. So a funny story about Live Without It is that Ed actually reproduced the whole track. And I had such bad demo-itis from the first version that when Ed sent me his first version, I thought it was awful. Not awful. I didn't like it as much, and it took me a whole week to realise how amazing this version was. But yeah, no, I felt awful about that, and I rang Ed crying, being like, I don't know if I like it. And he was going, what do you mean you don't like it? And I basically caused him a whole load of stress for no reason, because I now absolutely love the track. Hashtag diva. The third track on the EP is Someone Else, which I think is my personal favourite on the EP, just because it's so rock and roll and it reminds me so much of the music that I was growing up listening to. And I really wanted to have my guitar moment live, and that song has given me that moment. And so as far as I'm concerned, I've reached my peak in my career as soon as I get on that stage with that guitar playing that song. Someone Else is about, wanting someone that wants someone else. It's a very simple song lyrically. It's very straight to the point. It's got a touch of psycho to it, which I don't really mind. Like, I don't want to be perceived as a psychopath, but all songwriters are a little bit like... Not a psycho, I promise. But I love that song. It's definitely my favourite on the EP. I wrote it with King Ed again. King Ed produced it. A funny thing about the recording of the song is when we were writing it, the yeah in the chorus I actually did as a joke because I was trying to impersonate Bryan Adams. And Ed was like, oh my God, that's really good. We should use that. And I was like, really? Is that not a little bit like too Brian-y? And he was like, it's not Brian at all. It's you, it's Dylan. And so I spent like a good half an hour just trying to perfect the yeah. And I think it's turned out great. Number 4 on the EP is a song called Alone, which was written by me and the Nocturnes and ad-prodded by Dan Holloway. Ad-prodded sounds weird. Dan Holloway did ad production on the song. And we did that in Albury actually, which is where my dad lives. The song is about a very romantic, what could have been a one-night stand. It's actually really, I took parts of the song from real life experiences, but most of it was made up in my head on what I would like a one-night stand to be like, rather than, let me just try that one again. Alone is about a very romantic one-night stand. It's about meeting someone for the first time and just being utterly infatuated with them from the get-go and just wanting to go on like an adventure instead of staying at a stupid party. Alone and 19 were actually on a different EP at first. There was a whole different EP that then got sliced up and chopped up, and the only two that survived the cut were Alone and 19. And so I did Alone while I was recording the EP with Dan in Albury, and I think we did it sort of second to last, and so by this point we were absolutely going crazy, and the whole time we were working on the prod together, I mean, I'm sure you'll see the video evidence one day, but we were definitely not mentally okay after the amount of time that we'd spent together. The 5th track on this EP is You're Not Harry Styles, which I think is a fan favourite because it's very to the point, it's very brutal, but it's a great song because it's such a juxtaposition in the way that it's constantly complimenting the person that it's about, but at the same time it's going, yeah, but you're not quite Harry Styles, so you've got no reason to treat me badly. I wrote this with my 2 favourite people, who are King Ed and Anya. And the song, I had the pre to the song, arrived at the session, and Anya went, oh, this is great, but can we speed it up 20 BPM? To which I was like, oh, really? Oh God, fast songs, I'm not good at those. But it was totally the right decision. And most of the lyrics actually came about because I was saying lines as a joke, and Anya was going, that's actually really good, let's put that in the song. And I was like, can I say you're not quite Harry Styles? Will I get sued by Harry? But you know what, it would be a pleasure to be sued by Harry Styles, so we went with it. My favourite lyric is running around with your God complex. Do you picture yourself while we're having sex together? Just because it's so outrageous and so something that I would say. And I like the way that all of the songs on the EP are incredibly unapologetic and very honest and very straight to the point, which I think describes me as a human perfectly. The last song on the EP, which was the song that started this whole sound that I now have, is 19, which will always hold such a special place in my heart because it was the song that sort of kick-started everything for me. I'd been writing a lot of music prior to that wasn't me at all, and I was just trying to be someone else and having constant identity crises. And this kind of kicked the ball moving. Kicked the ball moving? Got the ball moving. Started the ball rolling. The point is there was a ball involved. This is also the song that connected me with so many people and built me an audience that I could have only dreamed of having. I love you all. So cringe. I wrote 19 in my garden in lockdown. I was sat outside in the sun. It was a very hot day, and I had my mum peering over my shoulder who was almost growling at every lyric that I was writing. She's going, yes, but would you say that? And I'm like, I'm not going to give you, a co-writer on this. But I can remember that day very, very clearly. I was 20 when I wrote 19, and which is ironic, but obviously I just spent a year being 19. And it was my favourite song that I'd ever written. Now that's obviously changed because I've written loads more, but at the time, that was my baby. That song will forever be my child. And then I took the song to Dan Holloway on Zoom, and we sort of finished it together. And there was a version that lived of 19 for about a year before I decided that it still needed something else to make it. It was an amazing song at the time, but it just needed to go that extra level. And then King Ed did some co-production on it, and that has made 19 into what it is today. It was equally entertaining recording that one, especially the re-prod with Ed, because I again had really bad demoitis. Took me slightly less time to get over this one, but I think that the song does exactly what I want it to do, and it's the first happy song that I'd ever written. Don't fall in love, kids, unless you want to write a song like 19. Then be my guest. Thank you for watching my track by track. I hope you enjoy the EP. You can stream it in a link in the description. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.